Hi, I'm Lou Collett, author of Finding Zoe Through Her Art, a son's journey to get to know his late mother through the art she left behind. The Andrew chapter is a short but powerful one for me. The image obviously is a strong one. And Andrew worked at the art printer where I would go to have the pictures scanned. And they are also where I will be getting the prints for anybody who's at the $250 reward level. They make these amazing prints. The quality is amazing. They've even been able to edit some of the pictures to remove coffee stains and cigarette smoke stains. But Andrew was amazing, and he worked on most of the pictures with me. And he's an artist himself, and I presume it's got to be a bit challenging to be an artist, but also working at a place like that where people come in and your job is to duplicate and reproduce other people's art, and you shouldn't really be too opinionated or too critical or over complimentary, because in the end your job is just really to reproduce these people's art. But he did seem genuinely impressed with Zoe's art. He would often marvel at the layering and look at the points where he'd show me, like, look, you could see here where she erased, or he would show one time where from the butterfly in a previous version of the butterfly, if you took the mirror image, you could see shapes of it in another picture and would overlay it on his computer. It's really impressive stuff. He seemed genuinely intrigued by the technical aspect of how Zoe could achieve the drawing she did. It was really quite fun and impressive to watch for me. Zoe didn't leave names or titles for a lot of her art, for much of it. I have a feeling she felt that giving them a name, maybe define them, set them in their form, taking the cat out of Schrodinger's box, maybe. The titles in this book I made, and I purposely left them very matter of fact. Butterfly, bobcat, and I would ask Andrew oftentimes what he thought some of the names should be, and when I asked Andrew about this picture, he looked at it. It's laying on the counter that we worked on. He looked at it and pretty quickly just said, abortion. And it took me back at the time. I was just like, oh, yeah, okay. And I went home that night and I talked to my dad about it and mentioned it to him. He's like, yeah, well, yeah, before we had you, we were pregnant and we ended up having an abortion. We didn't think we were ready. So the year on this picture is 82. I was born in 1983. So it was the first time I ever knew. And just yesterday, I was speaking with somebody, and we discussed the difference between an illustrator and an artist. How an illustrator draws for your eyes, maybe, while an artist draws for your mind and gets you to consider the meaning behind the visual, behind the art. Make a point. Zoe put illustrator on her business card, but there is no doubt in my mind she was an artist. The pain in this picture is pretty obvious. The struggle and guilt a late 20s, soon-to-be mother must have and feel and go through to make that sort of decision. But I also like to think that the act of her drawing this picture, of her pressed against her drawing table, inches away, etching these markings into this picture on a piece of canvas, maybe gave her a chance to process. Maybe gave her a chance to cope and deal with what had happened in her own way, and gave her time to think about it, and maybe help her find a new meaning to that life, her life. Maybe find the strength to eventually be okay with having me where I came not too many months later. So thank you, Andrew, for thought in this, and thank you, Zoe, for the life, of course. And thank you for joining me on my journey with Zoe. And thank you for supporting the Kickstarter.